Yeah, man, let me get a size 12. Oh, what's going on, guys? My name is Zach. I'm what you call a sneakerhead. Why are we called sneakerheads? Well, I'll give you an explanation on that a little later on in the documentary. So, I hold shoes very important to me, and so do all sneakerheads. You wonder why? That's what this video is for. So, guys, we're back here again. Nice to see ya. I gotta make sure my shoes are looking fresh today. Cool. I went to the Batty Shoe Museum to get a professional opinion on why us youth hold shoes so high. I'm here with Elizabeth from the Batty Shoe Museum, and thank you for having me on, first of all, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
I really
sure.
appreciate it. And I just had a couple questions for you. Because my documentary, I'm doing it on shoes and how they're very expressive, and they're one of the most expressive articles of clothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one question I have for you would be, what makes you think, or why do you think that students hold shoes in such a high value as a form of expression right now?
I think that the reason why we value footwear so much right at the moment is that in many ways we've lost a lot of other accessories of status and gender.
Okay.
And so if you think back to even the 1950s, gender difference in how we dressed, male, female, was really quite pronounced. We all had hats, access to hats, which really formed a focus of both male and female culture, to the same extent. And so I think that because we do use our clothing so profoundly to indicate nuances of social status, cultural connection, and gender, that footwear is one of the things that we can place a great deal of emphasis on. There's a wide range available, and so we make use of it.
Awesome. So I talked a lot about how shoes, they're expressive and how the youth hold them in such a high point, right? So since I follow those beliefs, I decided to show off my collection here and say some of the reasons why I hold my shoes so high up, Because to me, shoes, they're not just shoes anymore. They're not just stuff that you hold on your feet just to protect you from the environment, They have stories behind them. Each shoe has a story behind them, whether it's a personal story or just a larger story. Like, as an example, this shoe, the Air Jordan 11, the Concord, was banned in the NBA from Michael Jordan because it did not match the NBA's colors, right? It did not match the color standard that each player had to wear on their foot, right? So this is just one of the shoes that just shows, hey, Jordan is a player that he doesn't really follow the rules, as you saw. He got a lot of shoes banned. He had to pay a lot of money via fines, but he didn't care. He still did what he wanted. He played like a monster, and he got the job done, right? So another shoe that has more of a personal story, to me, would be the Maroon 6. So the Maroon 6, this wasn't a shoe that I could just go to the store and pick up. Well, I did go to a store and pick it up, but it was a special store. It was the 306 Young Street Jordan pop-up store that was only allegedly supposed to be around once, right? Around All-Star Weekend last year. I traveled down there, waited in line. It was in February, so it was pretty cold. I waited in line, I met some cool people, and it was a long time I was there. I was there for a couple of hours, I'd say, in the line. I don't know how many, but I was just down there, and it was a great experience for me, and that's something that I'll never forget because it was a memorable moment. And when I look back at the shoe, I think of those moments, you know what I mean? So each shoe has its own memory, or it's waiting to have its own memory, So there's a reason why us youth hold it so high. Hold our shoes so high. It's not because, well, it does have to do with the fact that they're popular and, your favorite rapper, your favorite athlete's probably wearing the freshest kicks or whatever, and you want to be like them. But also, as an example, if I took this shoe, I played basketball in it, I dropped 50 points in a game, I'm going to remember this shoe as a 50-point game, is my 50-point game shoe. And it's going to be something that is not just a shoe for me anymore, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a little collector's item or a memory that, hey, I dropped 50 points in these, you know what I'm saying? And to some people, they just don't get that, and they just don't see why we hold our shoes so important. Because some adults, they don't really care. They don't really think about all the stuff that they've been through with their shoes, And I feel like that's a little bit of an issue, but to each his own, and you can kind of like think of it as you want. But that's it. This is just a little bit of my collection here. I just decided to show off a couple of shoes that I had that, you know, was pretty interesting. So